Hello and welcome back to Crafters TV. We're here with the softer side of life, and I've decided my new best friend, Becky. We're here together because we're going to be talking all things diamonds, champagne and chocolate. Are we not, Becky?
Absolutely. That's all. To be honest, that's all we talked about in the break.
Yeah.
I wish we'd been eating chocolate and drinking champagne, but we haven't.
No,
unfortunately.
No, we're very responsible human beings, but not to say that that won't happen at some point in the future when we're not on air. Wouldn't you say?
I think so.
We've got some glorious fabrics coming up for you, really beautiful. We've got some brilliant deals as well, lots of savings. I think we have to start though with the most beautiful fabric that we've got today from Lewis and Irene, and it really is very reasonable as well and perfectly timed because it's for all of those Christmas preparations that we're going to be dealing with over the next few weeks. Maybe it's for gifting, maybe for decorating. It really is the most beautiful collection, and I do think you've got some samples, haven't you, Becky?
Well, I've got the things that I've been making so far with this Lewis and Irene fabric. So if you saw the earlier show, I made a stocking, which is over on the wall of fame over the other side of the studio. But one of the things that I did make that came out of this panel are some little decorations here. Oh, thank you, Leanne.
You're welcome.
So this is the cushion. I was going to say, I'm so used to making cushions. This is the stocking that I made from that panel. So this is really, really simple to do. If you wanted to watch that back, you certainly can do. I've used some of the Lewis and Irene fabric inside as a lining as well.
That one demo of the show.
I know, it's very exciting. I very rarely get demo of the day or demo of the week or demo of the month. Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there.
I think you could be on with demo of the day today with that stocking.
It'd be lovely if I got demo of the day, but I don't know because I really love those dies. I'm quite in love with those, and I've already placed an order for those.
Have you?
I have. Despite Tracy telling me I shouldn't buy any more, but I have bought some more dies. So we've got those are the things you can make with that particular panel. But this fabric, as we said before, is beautifully soft, and there's so many things you can do with it. You know, it's going to be an easy thing to do. I think actually those panels, because they're quite simple to do, those stockings, you could definitely make them with your grandchildren or your children.
Definitely, I would absolutely agree with you. And I've just been stood here thinking, which is should be encouraged or maybe not. It depends what I've thought. I'm just thinking, Becky, you could with this panel buy one of these half meters that I'm about to show you, the other one, not this one. And you could make two stockings from this with the addition of another half metre, because you could do the front decorated.
You could.
And the back in a different or complementary or plain fabric, and just the toe would be facing in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
I think that would be quite good, don't you?
Yeah.
So if you are on a budget and you don't want to make one stocking with the panel, buy one of the complementaries and put that on the back and line it, and then you've got two stockings from the one panel. Up to you, you decide, but you can see here it is a really good size, this panel. It's huge, and you're only paying $13.99 or $19.99 for that today. And of course, if you are a platinum member, you can see your price on the screen with your 20% discount. The fabric is, you have to buy it and get it home to understand. It is so touchably soft. It feels like it's almost got a sheen on it, although it isn't a sheen fabric. It's just how well woven and the quality of the fibre. Obviously 100% quilting cotton. It isn't Egyptian cotton, but it has that feel of that real tight weave, lovely soft sheened Egyptian cotton when you get really nice bedding. It's like that to me. It feels absolutely glorious. And of course you've got all of those 12 days of Christmas decorations on there as well. So that is an absolute steal, and we'll make one or two stockings depending on whether you use it in its entirety or whether you use a complementary fabric on the back. So these are the rest of the fabrics that we've got, and I think these really are truly beautiful, aren't they? I love these, Becky.
They are some of the nicest Christmas fabrics I've seen, I have to be honest. Some of them, these aren't, whilst they're traditional kind of design, they're not your super traditional kind of, sort of poinsettia and busy kind of patterns. And they're just absolutely beautiful. I really love these.
I agree. I think it's kind of the traditional theme with a more modern take to it. But not so modern that it wouldn't work in a traditional theme either.
No, absolutely not.
I'm a very traditional when it comes
with your
to
red,
Christmas.
green and gold.
Red, gold and green, if you're a Karma Chameleon, then absolutely it's going to work for you. And I just must point out, got beautiful foiled details in here. If I get the 5 gold rings, and the foiled detail is all the way through the fabric. You can see that just shining. Can you see that shining? Come on, Leanne. do it better. There we go. You can see that lovely little shine in there, and you've got that foiled detail all the way through the fabric. Okay, right, so I did a very bad job of that. I'll do it better the next time. So the next one we've got, and these are all $7.49, the ones I'm showing you now, or $10.99 if you're in the US there. And of course, platinum members, $5.99 is a platinum price for a ½ metre of the most beautiful fabric. So this is the same design, but with that blue background, which is absolutely gorgeous. And I'm going to get my geese here and show you the foiling. There we go, the foiling on the eggs. So you've got those foiled accents all the way through each of these little panels. And you know, Becky, for this, I would be tempted to cut those squares out and cut my seam allowance from around the outside and make a 12 Days of Christmas Advent calendar.
Yeah, absolutely lends itself to that.
It really
and I think
does.
if you've bought, previously we had some Jubilee fabric from Lewis and Irene, and if you did buy that, you'll know that there's that exactly that kind of gold sort of shimmer that you've got in different places. It's that kind of feel to it as well. So if you have bought that before, it's definitely the same type of quality that you're getting.
Thank you. So that's the red design. That's my personal favourite. That's the one I would be buying. I'm a very traditional girl when it comes to Christmas. But you will get your ½ metre, and you can see the pricing is exactly the same. Now we come to our contrast, our complementary fabrics. So this is cream script. Beautiful design, same quality, beautiful cream colour, and you've got the script on there. And I just have to say, you can actually read the words. I'm putting my glasses on, but it is the actual words.
It is the actual words
of Christmas. It's the actual words, yes.
It is the actual words.
3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. 5 gold rings, 4 calling birds. So it's the actual words, which I just thought was like a random script before, but it's not. So I think that's really good as well. So the cream, that's a little bit less expensive. So you're only $6.99 or $10.49 on that. And you can see your platinum price changes accordingly as well. This green, I adore because it's a true non-garish, beautifully rich Christmas green.
It is, isn't it? It's the kind of green you'd have a velvet dress made out of, wouldn't you, for Christmas?
Yes, please. Oh, yes. Do you know, if I got married again, Becky?
Yeah.
I mean, Karen Mr. C's away on his bike this weekend, so we won't be panicking. But if I was to get married again, I would get married on Christmas Eve.
Would you?
And I would have a green velvet dress with a cape. You know, you talked about capes.
Yeah.
I'd have to have a cape with white fur edging. I'd have to have a muff for my hands. And I'd want all of the holly and the berries in my bouquet.
And quite a full skirt so you can
Scarlett O'Hara.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
Honestly, that's what I would do. And I really wished I'd thought about that the first time round. Because now I almost feel like I need to do it again just to have that experience. But we'll not tell Simon that. So we've got that beautiful red berry colour as well. And then we've got the holly. Maybe we could do like a vow renewal at Christmas, Becky.
You should do. I think that'd be a good idea. Although I do feel sorry if it's Christmas Eve, that means the people that are serving you wherever you are working on Christmas Eve, aren't they? I had one of my cousins got married about the 20th of December, and we were all in green velvet, all the bridesmaids. It was nice.
Gorgeous. I bet that was lovely.
It was
yes,
nice.
You're absolutely right. Very selfish to do it on Christmas Eve. I'll do it on the 23rd.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So that's that holly on a lovely blue background there. So $6.99 or $10.49, and of course your platinum price. Every one of these that you're seeing here is a full ½ metre. I think the fabrics are absolutely exquisite. The quality exceptional. Love that holly on black. It's really dramatic. I think that would be lovely as accents on a Christmas table. Really lovely. Next one is the mirrored design, which is where your little characters are back to back or facing. And you can see that's on the natural colour. That does definitely feel like shortbread biscuits printed with design. It's lovely. I like these complementary ones. I think they're great. And then I just want to show you this because actually all you've got to do through this entire collection is choose your favourite designs and they will work together. They've been designed in such a way. So that's your mirrored on green. And you've got ½ metre again. I'm just going to bring in the holly on green and put that alongside. And you can see they work together very, very well. They are designed as a collection, aren't they?
I mean, whilst it's a colour that we wouldn't immediately think of, it works so well with that dark green.
It really does. completely agree. And then even this is the mirrored on red, which I love. It's more subtle, the pattern there. You are looking for it more, but I sometimes like an insinuation of a pattern rather than full on in your face. And I'm just going to grab this holly. And you can see the red of that berry perfectly matches in with that lovely red colour. It's absolutely gorgeous. And if I was to bring in this red panel even from earlier, the challenge is going to be to get them the right way around next time. Look how well they all work together. So you're just going to choose your favourite designs from the collection, and then they are going to work together. This scattered is, I would definitely be making for my grandchildren in this. It's just a happy print. I love that.
I know it's 12 Days of Christmas, but it reminds me of Hans Christian Andersen stories. I don't know why, but you know, there's something about that. It's joyful.
Agree. One of my favourite Hans Christian Andersens is the Snow Queen.
Oh, I like that. That's
love
good.
That. Yeah. And then that beautiful deep green, $7.49 on that one as well. Fabulous pricing on that for a full half a metre. All of those different choices for you. And I think, Becky, you've got a really lovely demo for us of these.
I have. So I'm going all out with this fabric because it's just lovely. So what I'm going to start off with is some of that beautiful red pattern that we've got here. And I've got some wadding here. I just want to spray this with some adhesive. So in order to sort of save my brand new cutting mat, and I don't want to get that all grubby, I'm just going to pop a few layers of sort of kitchen roll here just to capture any sort of sticky parts of the the glue. Now the way I do this is I make sure that my fabric and my batting is sort of lined up, and then I pull off half of my fabric, give this a bit of a spray, and then I pull that back over there, and then I do the other half, so you don't end up sort of trying to match up that different area. If you're taking the whole thing off in one go, it becomes a little bit harder to put everything together. Now this is our stick and stay spray. So this is our permanent adhesive. You could use our temporary adhesive. This just happens to be the one that I brought with me. And so I need to give it a bit of an iron so it all adheres to where it's supposed to be. So if you bear with me, I'll get my board out. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do almost like a quilt as you go project. And I've done this before with my own fabrics, and it made some really lovely sort of Christmas decorations. So I thought we'll do the same thing today. So I've already pre-cut strips of all the fabric that we've got on the show here. Now these are roughly 1 inch. I think I did them by centimetres, so would that be in 5 centimetres? Something like that?
1 inch is 2.5 centimetres.
Okay, it must have been 3 centimetres then. So what we've done is we've cut all these different strips, and I just cut them across the whole width of the fabric. This is going to be the back of my project. This is going to be my front. I'm just going to choose a colour. So let's go for the green, and I want to run from one corner to the other corner, and I want to try and waste as little of the fabric as I possibly can. So I'm just going to give it a bit of a trim here, and you can see it's facing upwards. And then I'm going to choose another strip, and I'm going to want to join it. So we're going to have all these strips going across and covering up this whole piece of fabric here. But I want them to follow, I want those to be right sides together. I'm going to place them there, and I'm just going to give that a quick trim. And now I just want to pin that all together. And what we're going to do is we're going to stitch along this line here, and then we're going to fold back this piece. And then we're going to do the same with each strip until we've completely covered this whole piece of fabric with these little strips here. So it makes a really quick and easy kind of patchwork item for us to do. So I'll start by pinning this. Now, I would recommend that you do pin it. Sometimes I don't bother pinning because just for quickness, but actually you do want to pin for this occasion. You don't want it slipping.
No.
Now you could use, I've chosen the same size strips. There's nothing to stop you from using different size strips, so it almost looks a little bit like a barcode, where you've got thicker and thinner strips, yes. Or a bit like Paul Smith's yes. collection that he did a few years ago, where he had all those different colour stripes and yes. different widths. You could do something like that. And this actually is quite a good way of making quick table mats.
Yes.
For well, not necessarily quick, but nice Christmas table
Nice
mats.
Christmas table mats. And it is as well, if you're a little bit scared of doing patchworking, or if you've been a little bit intimidated in terms of getting your joins perfect, your seams perfect, your seam allowance perfect, this takes all of that worry away, doesn't it? Because it's all done in one go for you, and it's quilted. Yeah, and it's nice to have something that's quick and easy to do. I think this is sort of a project that, if you've not sewn before, this is quite a good one. I know someone was saying about getting, being frightened by your sewing machine. Half the time we buy sewing machines that have got so many different stitches and all those sorts of things on them, but you very rarely need them. You just need a straight stitch. I tend to use a 1/4 inch foot, which has got a little barrier down the side. I didn't bring mine with me this week. And you're just going to do straight line stitching. You're not even stitching around a curve. You're just making it very, very simple, just stitching again and again. The only problem is it becomes quite noisy and repetitive. And when my husband was trying to watch TV while I was doing this, he was getting quite angry with me. He was like, "Will you stop sewing?" No, I can't. So we're just going to turn that piece of fabric over here. Yeah. And we're going to give it a press. Lovely. Now, if you watch me before, you know I tend to do finger presses, but Leann's here, so I'm getting the iron. Because I know, Leann, you like everything to be beautifully ironed, don't you? I do. I'm terrible for it. I mean, even just showing everybody those fabrics, the creases in them are making me twitch. I have to iron. I have to iron. And this is the funny thing, and really it's a little bit ironic, because at home, I don't iron any clothes or bedding. Just message us in the socials and let us know where you stand on ironing. If I can get away with not ironing it at home, I will get away with not ironing it, with the exception of my fabric when I'm about to craft with it. I'll happily iron that all day. How bizarre is that? That is a bit bizarre. It is. I hate ironing. Yeah, I do. That's why I try to get away with it. Like bed sheets don't get ironed in our house. We're definitely not ironing underwear in our house if it can't be seen. Oh, do you know, my son said to me the other day, he said, I've got a little travel iron that I tend to have in my craft room because it doesn't take much space. He said, can I borrow your travel iron? I was like, yeah. And he said, it's just my bedding's really creased. And so he's ironing it on the bed. He's 18. And he wasn't even having his girlfriend over, so I'm not entirely sure why, but the creases in his bed linen were clearly upsetting him that day. So I was like, yeah, that's right. So I'm just going to carry on. So I'm going to stitch this next piece here, but you can see of how we're doing this. We're just doing a simple stitch, so putting right sides together, and we're just following that diagonal line that we started off with in the first place. We have got so many people joining us, Becky. So Susie, our social media superstar, is on the comments today. Hello, Susie. We've got Fran from a frosty Maryland. Susie, a chilly in New Orleans this morning too, 41 degrees, which is 5 degrees C. Oh, that is pretty cold for you. Tammy, hello, good morning. Sylv Sparkley, hello. Margaret, hello there in Montana. Kimberly from Pennsylvania. Judy in Arizona. Kathy in Illinois. Kathy Leah on Facebook, that is a very good size stocking, room for lots of goodies. We agree with you, Kathy. Eve, hello, Betty Weaver, Coletta, Donna, Kristen, so many of you joining us. Now, Wendy in Hampshire, will the square designs be cut as half metres so we get whole squares, or will they be wasted in complete squares? It will be a half metre. They would not be, it's not a panel, is what I'm going to say to that, Wendy. So it's not where, for example, with the stocking panel, you wouldn't get that with the toe of your stocking chopped off because you wouldn't be able to make what you need to make. However, with these square designs, it's just a repeated pattern. So there will not be the ability to make sure that you get that full square on there. It will just be rolled out to a true half metre, because actually it's not designed to use as individual squares. It's designed to be used as a repeating pattern. We're just saying that's another way you could use it. So hope that's helpful for you, Wendy. Oh, we've got so much. Eve B on YouTube says, what's a 9? We're with you. We're with you, Eve. What is an 9? It's not something I'm interested in. Becky had out on the table earlier. Exactly. I don't think we should. I think it's dangerous for people to iron. And I said to you before, actually I make irons explode. So I don't think it's safe for me to do any of the ironing. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm just looking for a heat erasable pen. Oh, there we go. So you can see here now. That's
I've just stitched 3 of those strips on there, but you can carry on all the way to the end. Now, I cut my fabric as I'm going along, so I can keep reusing these strips. Now, I cut 1 strip from every piece of fabric across the whole width, and that is sufficient to do this whole piece, and you'll end up with a few extra sort of small pieces at the very end. But this is what it will look like once it's finished, less this bit. Because obviously, so you can see if you had that as a table runner, or if I just put that there so you could hide that, it would be like
placemats.
Yeah, placemats, really easy to do.
Really lovely.
Maybe a bit of rickrack round the side.
Yes, a little faux pom-pom.
Yeah, that would look really good.
Yeah.
But very easy. And then you've obviously got this side as well. So you've got that lovely kind of quilting effect going across.
You know sequins on a string?
Yeah.
You could stitch some of them down the seams.
You could.
So you've got a spark. That would look lovely, wouldn't it?
That would look really good.
Well, I'm feeling very inspired.
But I'm not going to use it for a table mat. I'm going to use it to create some little Christmas trees. So I have cut out a very simple Christmas tree shape here, and that's what I did over here, so I was hiding that. Now I'm just going to place my Christmas tree template here. Actually, I'm going to flip it over because it's a little bit easier to see on the solid piece of fabric. So I'm going to use my heat erasable pen.
Now, those heat erasable pens come in the tool deal that we've got on, and it's a great tool deal because you are getting your corner template, your pens, and the most beautiful pair of mermaid style scissors, and you're getting a free tote bag as well. We're going to put those details across the bottom of the screen for you should you wish to have a look at them, and then we'll show you it when Becky's finished doing her little decorations. We'll show you what it's like.
Yeah, they're definitely worth having. I mean, I'd used them for, my children used to have them as pens at school, and I'd never really thought about using them for sewing, but they're actually a godsend. Now, I've marked everything out here, but I'm going to be using my pinking shears to cut along the line of the tree. And just trim, so I've cut really, really close, or I'm cutting really close to that cut edge already. You could, in actual fact, use that cut edge and save as much shape as you possibly can. And whilst I'm going to be doing these with everything going around in that particular angle, there's nothing to stop you from cutting them like this. So you could probably get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, probably 10, 12 of these little trees.
So that's very economical.
Yeah. And really, you're not using much of your fabric. Really, you're just using, a small slither of each one. And if you're going to a fair,
if you're preparing to go and sell at a craft fair, you could make a ton of these and sell them for a couple of pounds, and you'll have made a good amount of money back on them because it's not expensive to do it. You're using a minimal amount of stuff, but getting a lot from that square. Yeah, you are. You're definitely making it worth your while there. Now, you can do a number of ways of finishing this off. So you could use looking for a nice piece of ribbon, you could use your screw punch here to create a little bit of a hole to thread your ribbon through, or you could stitch your ribbon here. Now, what I would say is you just need to be mindful when you're popping your little template on the fabric. You want if you're going to be putting your ribbon in there, it's easier if you don't have any more stitching here. So this top part opens up and you can just hide within. Yes. This bit's got a bit of stitching in. Now, I've also done these in the past where I've stitched with machine around the edge just to finish those off. But actually, because we've sewn so close with these strips, the strips are quite small, you probably don't need to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the hole punch, and I'm just going to find another piece of card to protect I think you're right, I don't think you do need to, but if you wanted, you could do a blanket stitch, couldn't you? You could. Hand stitch a blanket stitch around the edge. Absolutely. Now, I normally use a coaster for this, but I haven't brought one with me, so I'm just using a piece of card on my fabric plate, and I'm just going to use the screw punch. I'm going to press down, and then that's going to make a little hole, so you can probably see just here. Not quite cut all of that away. There we go.
You've got that little hole just there.
Lovely.
And we're going to put a little piece of ribbon through that little hole. And so I've got some fine red ribbon. And I'm going to use that. Now, what I want to do to totally finish it off is I want to do a little bit of beading on my tree. So I've got some thread. This is some embroidery thread, and I've got a whole pack of beads here. So these are just a mixture of different kind of beads. I bought them from the very inexpensive shop that you find in the high street that has a flying animal on it.
It has a flying animal.
Yes.
We just tell everybody it's flying tiger.
Yeah, all right, flying tiger.
Flying
tiger. So a few years ago I bought them from there, and they've lasted again and again. So any kind of little beads, but you'll be able to find them. Don't spend loads of money on them because you're just going to be. You just want a bit of sparkle. You just want them hanging on the tree and to catch the light.
Yes.
So if you've got any kind of sequins, maybe you've got some sequins from some of our papercraft collections, they would work really well. Just got a couple of little knots on the back, here, and then I'm going to stitch these through. Now, what I am going to do, which is the reason why I've not stitched around the edge at the moment, is I'm going to come in at the side so I can hide my knot. Because normally you would end up having the knot on the other side.
Yes.
I'm going to hide my knot over here. Actually, I've started trying to do it the wrong way around, haven't I? I started trying to do it on the red side. I want to do it on the other coloured side. I want to do it this side. Silly woman. This is where I want the decoration to be. But obviously either side looks really good. You might want to decorate both sides, because the tree, whichever way you hang it on your Christmas tree, it's going to spin around, isn't it?
It is. It's good, and it's going to catch the light with the Christmas lights on the tree off the little beads. It's going to look really beautiful. I really like this. I feel I need to make some this weekend. For when I put my tree up.
I want to see the pictures, Leanne.
Okay, I'll share.
You can't just say I'm going to make it and then not share pictures.
Yeah, I'll
exactly.
share the pictures.
So we're just going to take, and I'm just doing this really, really quickly. I'm just going to take one bead, if I can ever pick them up, and then
that's really lovely.
Go back down, and then I'm only going through the first layer of the fabric, so I'm not coming out the outside. I'm just going through that first layer of fabric.
Yes.
So it hides all of the sort of workings.
I've got you.
And it makes it nice and easy for you to put things together. Now, again, there's nothing to stop you from stitching sort of full sort of lines of beads on here. You can make them. You can follow the stripes down the tree and make it look like they're sort of garlands hanging from the tree.
Yeah.
But I think they look quite nice when you've got a few different sparkles here and there.
Now, we have inspired all of the viewers with our talks of wedding dresses.
Oh, have we?
We have. So Lynn says, my daughter got married in January and had a fur-lined cape, but she had a white cape and dress. She looked gorgeous with a fur-lined hood.
Oh.
Lynn, please send in a photograph. We need to see it.
Definitely.
Eve B, oh, that sounds like the perfect wedding dress, Leanne. Love that green colour. Maybe just make a formal dress and have the man of the house take you out to a fancy place.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Yeah, that sounds good.
I think that's an
and then
excellent
say to him, well, we're actually renewing our wedding vows tonight.
Yeah, we'd be off like a long dog. I don't think he'd be here for that, as the youth would say, Becky. I don't think he would.
No.
He's not good with. We're like yin and yang, Becky. Where I'm all of the woo, he's all of the don't want any attention.
Yeah.
It was really difficult even just getting him to the church. Never mind. I mean, I'm saying it's because he's shy. It could have been other reasons, who knows. Wendy says, I wore dark blue velvet and fur muff and bonnet as a bridesmaid.
Ooh.
Blue, navy blue velvet.
Nice. You'd have to sing that song though, wouldn't you?
You would.
Yeah.
You would. Wasn't that black velvet?
No, she wore blue.
Oh, yes, that one.
There is black velvet
There was a group
as well.
called Black Velvet.
Yeah.
But they sang a different song. Yeah.
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 I'm still in the 80s anyhow. Hannah Law says, those new fabrics are exquisite. Rhonda says, I love a bit of quilt as you go. And also Rhonda wants to know, she's got a question.
Yep.
And do you know what? I don't know the answer, Rhonda. I don't know that Becky will either. But we will certainly take your question and put it forward for you. Because Rhonda wants to know, why don't we ever have a craft along with Softer Side? So I am going to take that question and take that forward for you, and I'm going to make that my personal mission for you. Lynn says, my son is buying me an old-fashioned Singer sewing machine for Christmas, just like the one I learned to sew on years ago. Not electric, but has a handle on the side. I've done so much sewing over the years.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
I think that sounds lovely too. And it'll also look quite a little piece of furniture as well.
Yeah.
So I really
Very
love
Little
that.
Women.
Yes, Very Little Women. Oh my, I love that story. I've got my original Little Women book in the loft, and I've gone and took it down ready for when I can read it to Ada. I can't wait.
How old is she?
She's two and she was 2 in September.
Right,
She's
okay.
a little bit young yet.
Yeah.
I think I need to wait another couple of years. I think 5 is probably going to be the age. But it's ready. It's ready. It was a movie.
There's been a few movies, hasn't
There's been
there?
a few movies.
Yeah.
There's been really old ones, a recent one. The original older one is still my favourite, I have to say.
Me too.
Over the new one, definitely. I love the story. I've read it so many times. I'm really looking forward to reading that to her. Eve, we've already said Eve, what's an iron? Coletta. I'm with you, Leanne. I iron everything while sewing. I will occasionally use a steamer on my clothing if really needed, but that's it. I'm with you, Coletta. That's exactly what I do. Oh my word, so many comments, Becky, so many people with us. So Deborah says, good morning, Becky and Leanne. I was watching Wake Up Call Back. I have a suggestion for the person who wanted to learn to use her sewing machine.
Yeah,
so that's
brilliant.
really nice. That was Peggy Sue. When I taught sewing to practice sewing straight lines and pivoting, use an old needle and notebook paper, stitch on the lines and pivot on the lines that mark the margins. Be sure you use this needle only for paper. I hope that helps.
Okay, that's good.
Oh, that's a really good idea,
Yeah.
actually. Make sure you do only use that needle for paper. Mark it up with something, draw on it with a Sharpie or something like that, so it's got a black mark on it, because you don't want to be using that needle for your fabric. But it's a really good idea in terms of straight lines. My advice for straight lines with sewing is, I think, you can get focused on either pushing the fabric through or pulling the fabric through, can't you, Becky?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a bit like driving a car where you don't watch the steering wheel.
Yeah.
When you're driving, you watch where you're going. And I think for the sewing machine, that's always my top advice. Watch where you're going. Don't try and yank it in any direction, be it pulling or pushing. I mean, I don't know, Debbie, I've done it again.
Do you know what, Leanne, I love it. I love it because I'm adamant the reason people, and it's not just you, it's loads of people, it's not just people here, lots of people call me Debbie because my sister passed away when I was 22, and I always think it's my sister, she was called Debbie, and I always think it's her just going, well, I want to get in there, don't forget me. So, and actually she passed away on Boxing Day when I was 22. So she's this is her time. She loved Christmas.
Well, do you know what? I hope to goodness that is exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Because if I've called you Becky once today, I've called you Debbie 5 times in between.
You have, that's very true.
I must just let everybody know that 60% of the stocking is gone. So you are absolutely loving it. I do think that stocking that Becky made in Wake Up Call this morning is exceptional, and I'm sure you're loving it too. So 60% of it is gone. I think by the end of the day, it will go. George did a very droll joke there.
That was a really good joke. That's one of the best jokes I've had.
Stocking, 60% of the stocking is gone.
Yay!
Yay! Thank you. Thank you. That's George's joke of the day.
That's great. I love a dad joke, and that was really a dad joke.
That was a real dad joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, George does think that he's been listening to Ben too much, and Ben's rubbing off on him a little bit. I mean, I'm not sure how Ben would take that for that joke, to be fair, George. But okay, if that is your excuse, we're going to let you stick to it.
Yeah, I think so. You can just carry on putting as many beads on there. I put a few on there. And then I'm just going to pop the ribbon through. I'd like to have a little knot at that point down there. And then we're just going to finish off with a knot at the top, and it's ready to hang. Or you can make them into bunting, Christmas bunting maybe, if that's what you wanted to do. And then you've got your little Christmas tree.
I absolutely love that, Becky. I think it's beautiful and a really lovely, quick, easy, but that would be a nice crafty afternoons project.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of mindful time for you, with some pretty little things at the end that you can use to decorate the house.
Or sending them as gifts to people that you can't see. Maybe put the family name on the year at the back so you can got it as a keepsake.
I love that. I'm desperately trying to work out how I'm going to use that as gift tags, because wouldn't that be lovely, tied on a gift to then keep and put on the tree?
Yeah.
I need to work out how we're going to put the to and from on.
You could do some of that fabric that you print onto. And then you just iron that on, so it looks a bit like it will look a bit like a label.
Yes.
With some dots around the outside.
Oh, that would be lovely. Yes, I think they would be lovely. So many different ways you could use them. Now, obviously, 60% of that stocking has gone. There, thank you. They're just for you, George. This sewing deal of the week is absolutely great. I do feel I need to sing that too, but I won't. You're getting. Sewing deal of the week. I feel I need a baldy head and big white collars. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, so you've got these fabulous, I love these, like mermaid scissors, and they are the snips. They're a very sharp snip, and they snip right to the end. They're a really good quality scissor. I love the colour of those. You've got your corner rounding template, essential for a bag maker. And actually, I find it easier to go around a corner than I do to do a right angle.
Yes.
So for a placemat, for example, a rounded corner placemat, I would find that easier with bias binding to go around the corner than I would to do a perfect right angle, because they can look a bit odd. So anyway, for lots of different projects, your corner rounder. And then of course you've got your heat erasable pens as well. 3 colours there. You've got your red, your black and your blue, and they will remove with friction. So you use the rubber on the end and they'll rub away, but I always just use it's one of the only times I use an iron, to remove the lines. So you're paying for those 3, which is your $30.97 or your $39.85, and you're getting this tote entirely free of charge. And it is a fantastic tote, this. It really has got the very easy grab handle, nice size for all sizes of hands, especially, again, if you've got dexterity issues. It's very easy to get a hold of in whichever way you would like and move around. It is capacious. There's an awful lot of space inside there to be crammed full of stuff. I love the fact that we've got these clear pockets in here, so you can see what you're looking for. You've obviously got your 3 gusseted pockets on the front there, hold an awful lot. And then on this side, you've got all of these elastic loops as well for your tools, which is great. And then a really nice big pocket, which can be divided, as I've got there. You can see the divider, but that divider is Velcroed. So if you've got a longer item that you want to keep in there, like a paper trimmer, something like that, a guillotine, or some quilting rulers, they would fit in there, and you can move that little divider to the side. So it's a fantastic bag. And you had a little story about that, didn't you, Becky?
Yes, so I bought one for my mum for Christmas, and my mum goes to quite a few sort of needlecraft classes, and or sort of workshops, and all the ladies were absolutely wowed by it, so they've all got them now. Every single person in her group's got the same tote, which is a bit of a nightmare because none of them know whether they're rummaging in their bag or somebody else's. But yeah, it's really easy to see everything in that particular one.
It is immediately visible. You're not searching for ages, are you? You're absolutely right. Now, you're absolutely still going mad for this grab bag, which was on the cartload, and it's our Craig's Spectrum Noir bag. It's still very popular today. So we're just going to give you the details of this so that you can see what's in it and know what you're ordering should you want to. So this is Craig's Spectrum Noir grab bag for only £20 or $30. And you're saving $21.97 on the contents in here, which is, and how many dollars? $35.97. You're saving a good amount. So you're getting a full set of our Classique markers in those beautiful blue-green sea tones. So you've got 6 markers in there. You're also getting a tri-blend set in the same tone, so they'll work together. You've got 6 markers in there, 18 colours, 3 colours in each marker. And then you're also getting our Classique set here, Discovery kit here, using one of my favourite designs, which is the Improving Colourist, and that's got that kind of manga feel to it, that lady there, where you're learning how to layer up lots of different colours to achieve things. It really is great. For £20 or $30, that's 3 fabulous, inexpensive Christmas gifts. saving a good amount of money, and it's proving still very popular on the website. So if you're interested in that, it's still available for you. Now, we're going to have a little break. We're going to go and have a video, and we're going to find out why, in my opinion, Club Inspire is the best craft club in the world.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Hello, I'm Ben and I'm one of the presenters on Crafters TV. So my presenting journey started when I was about 18. I started working at a holiday park here in the UK. Our US viewers might not know it, but there's like a holiday park called Butlins. So what's involved with being a presenter? Well, my day-to-day kind of is ensuring I know everything that's on the show. Ensuring that the guys that I'm working with obviously are happy with everything that's on the show. And I kind of feel like what I do, I'm sort of like the glue in the show, if you like. There's a bit of a crafty reference for you. So kind of listening to the guys in the gallery, the producer, the director, I'm sort of always listening to what they want me to do whilst the crafters are crafting. So I feel like I'm there as the glue, keeping sort of everything, as it should be. But I also think my job is to have a lot of fun, which I think I do on most days. Get the viewers interacting, because we always love to hear from our viewers, and I think that's one thing that we do here that you don't get anywhere else, is that interaction. So I think on the shows where I get the opportunity to craft, I always try and have a go, because I always think that if I can show that I can do it as like a real newbie base level crafter, then hopefully that'll inspire other people to have a go as well. I'm always inspired by Craig, because again, he's such a talented crafter, as our guys, as I say, all of them are, but he has obviously had a lot to battle with as far as his health is concerned. I always say this about Craig, if I'm having a bit of a bad day, I always think about Craig, because he's not been so well recently, but he'll never come into work and sort of moan about how bad he's feeling, and with all of the health issues he's had and the operations he's had over the years, he's a big inspiration because he just gets on with it.
Becky and I have just been discussing how much we love Ben, and the crew all joined in. He really is one of the world's nice men. He's fantastic and incredibly funny. He'll be back with you very soon. He, of course, is at the moment heading off to Reading with our gorgeous Sarah Davies. It's going to be the first night of the tour. So everybody, we're all very excited and we're wishing everybody well. If you are going along, you'll get to see Sarah and Ben in person and give them a little wave from us, holding the fort back here at Crafters TV. Now, we've got quite a lot of comments coming in again. You're all absolutely loving the stocking. The 60% update has sent you in your droves to go and get your stocking, and I don't blame you. Kristen Thomas says, I love this stocking. I bought several that I'm tucking away, hopefully for grandchildren in the future, since my kids have stockings that were made by my mum. I think that's great. How old are your kids, Kristen? Just employ my strategy, which is where I just kept telling my son, I'm ready when you are. And he was like, Mum, stop putting the pressure on. I'm like, no, I'm just letting you know that I'll be a young grandma, but I'm okay with that. So as soon as you're ready, absolutely great, be very well received in this house. And then 2 came along very quick. Lisa says, capacious. Oh, Leanne, a $10 word. I do like words, Becky.
Yep.
I'm a one for, if I find a word that I've not heard before, if I'm reading it in a novel, I have to stop reading and go and find out what that word is. And then I need to work out how I weave it into conversation.
I did that, and I have to repeat it to myself 5 or 6 times so I can remember. Because my husband's like, what on earth are you reading? So I'm just whittering on a particular new word I've learnt.
Yes, I love it. I absolutely love it. Ben had never heard of the word capacious till we'd done a craft show together. He always says that's one of the words Leann has taught me. I think he's on to 5 words now that I've taught him during Crafters TV shows. And he uses them regularly as well.
Excellent.
Great, I love them. Now, this next collection, we've got our multimedia bag collection. I'm just going to say it is hands down, without any doubt, one of my favourite bag collections that we've ever done in Threaders. It is, because I think it's the most usable,
yes,
and the most practical, and actually probably the simplest to put together.
Yes, yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, they are really usable, and these make, you know, buying these and then making them into gifts for people for Christmas. No, everyone wants a toiletry bag. You can make all 3, and you can put all 3 inside each other. You know, they're brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
They really are. So the deal is fantastic. You can see you've got them for a 40% saving today. So you've got them for £50 or $60. Your platinum price of £40 or $48 for effectively 9 bag patterns is exceptional value for money. So we give you the dies and we give you the pattern, and I'll just turn this round so you can see what the dies look like, and Becky will be showing you these because I know she's got a little demonstration for you. But you get all of the dies that you need to make those fabulous bags, and you get each of the styles in 3 different sizes. You've got the samples over there, haven't you, Becky?
I have, yeah. So you can see all the different sizes that we've got here, apart from this one, because I appear to have taken 2 of exactly the same size out. So we'll start with this one anyway. So they all have sort of slightly different things. So the larger ones tend to have more zip pockets in them. So this one has got, you've got little zip pockets down here, tiny little zip pockets, probably only kind of that type of size. They come to the middle here. So you've got 2 of those. And obviously you can line them with any kind of fabric that you want. So you can have some really brightly coloured fabric. We were talking last week how, you know, we both like a bag that's lined with something really quite cool and funky. Using some of our fabric coat, which we've got on the show today, to make them waterproof as well would be a great thing to do. So this is the larger one. I think this is the pouches, perfect pouches. This is the medium size one. And then we have another one, which is around about this kind of size, but I haven't brought that sample out with me. I don't know why I didn't. I bought this one instead, but you can see what that looks like when it's being made out of some of our cork rather than the cotton fabric. Lovely. Then we've got the other ones down here as well. So these ones are like more of your kind of traditional looking sort of toiletry bag.
They're my favourite.
With like these ones.
Yeah.
You've got this huge gusset, so it means that when you open this up, I mean, obviously you wouldn't have this kind of packaging in there. You'd have all sorts of other goodies in there, but you can see everything that's in there because it's going to stand up. You've got a little zip part down the side here as well, and you've got this in 3 different sizes. So each one of these bag dies comes in 3 different sizes here. You've got your medium size one here, and then you've got your teeny tiny one, perfect for, you know, your charging cables, your plugs, all those sorts of things for when you're travelling, or just make a set of 3 and give them as a gift for Christmas. I think that would be a really good idea. Then finally we've got these ones here, which are almost like a kind of mini handbag, almost like a camera bag would be how I would term these. So you've got your straps here. So this has got some of the hardware that we've had on the shows before. Again, you've got extra zip pockets. So this is the larger one. This is the medium size one with that little extra pocket. And this one is your teeny tiny one. Now, I did a show with Becky Redican, and we were saying this is big enough to fit a couple of sausage rolls into.
Of course, yes, absolutely, I love that. That bigger one, I made for my husband but left the handles off because I felt it was more of a masculine shape for a toiletry bag.
Yes.
And I did it with our faux leather.
Lovely.
On the outside, and I did a very jazzy print inside, and he uses it all the time. It's the most useful one he's ever had of anything he was ever bought before. So they're usable for many different things, I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
So do you want to get yourself a little demonstration ready? We're going to remind ourselves of these hooked crochet kits, which are also proving very popular. This is buy one, get one free. So it is a half price deal. It's 50% off for you. You're only paying £9.99 for both of these kits. And we'll just remind you of what's inside. You get everything you need to be able to create the design. So you've got Santa Claus and the little penguin there. You get the hook and you get your instructions. So you've got all of your cotton, the hook and your instructions. And I would say this cotton, for those of you who are yarn arenas out there, this is an Aran or worsted weight. So it's a thicker cotton, which actually will work up very quickly. And you've got your crochet hook included, which I can't see a measurement on, but that could probably be in the book. This to me looks like it's a 3.5mm hook by eye, but I could be wrong. So you've got that cream, that white and the red. And then inside, you've got all of your instructions. And we were asked a question in the earlier show today at Wake Up Call about whether we had UK and US terms in here. And I just want to show you this. So while the pattern is not repeated in UK, US terms, the conversion chart is there for you. So you can see there, wherever it says double crochet in the UK, you're going to do a single crochet in the US. Half treble, you're going to do a half double, and treble, you're going to do a double. So you've got all of the conversion there for you. And just as a little reminder to everybody, it's not a different stitch. The stitch is the same. We just call the stitches something different. And it sounds complicated, it's not. And you're just going to follow the instructions that are in there. Very, very easy to follow. And I think these are exceptional little Christmas gifts for stockings. A £5 to wrap this up and put this in a stocking. Maybe for someone who's been side-eyeing crochet on Instagram, thinking I want to have a go, because it's huge. It's having a revolution, crochet. It's everywhere. It's so popular. So if you've know somebody who's been side-eyeing it on Instagram, thinking I want to try, Becky, and saying that they can't, you can. This would be a brilliant present, I think, for a £5. Or in fact, give them both if you want to, because it's a buy one, get one free deal. That penguin, I just think he's hilarious.
I know, he's so sweet.
He's incredibly sweet, isn't he? I mean, he looks a bit, I have to say, he looks a bit like an angry penguin. Do you think he does?
Yeah, he does. He does a little bit. He looks a little bit like Pingu did when he was being told off by his mum.
Yes, he's being chastised. I'm going to sneeze. Jamie, our producer, sorry, I beg your pardon. Jamie, our producer, thinks the penguin looks like he's had a bit of Christmas cheer. A little bit of Christmas cheer, and why not? It is the season, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Becky, have you got your bag ready, Laura?
I have, yeah.
Okay, let's have a look at that.
So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using the perfect pouches for this demonstration. And I'm, excuse me, coughing and sneezing here. Catchy. And I'm going to be using some zips on a roll, which you'll find on the website, because on all of these bags, there's lots of different size zips that you're going to need. Zips on a roll will mean that you don't have to be trawling around looking for the perfect size zip and never finding it.
Aren't they genius?
Oh, they're just
How
such
do you ever manage without them?
I know, they're just such a game changer.
They really are.
They are. I wish we had them in every single colour.
Me too.
And rainbow.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I'd like a rainbow one. I'm just pinning it out there. So
I accept the challenge.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. This is what they look like. So this particular one, I mean, I have used since I got these. I can't remember when we launched these. I think it was around about March time. I have made so many of these bags because they are so usable. They were great for friends, for kids. I was buying people like some jewellery or some makeup, and I was putting them inside a bag that I'd made. So I have used these loads and loads. They are well used. This is the one we're going to be using. So I'm going to make the largest size one. So in here you've got 3 different sizes for those 3 different pouches, and you've got this shape which actually is for creating the pocket. I'm not going to do a pocket in this particular one, but you saw from that large sample that we had 2 pockets in there, but I'm just going to do it as a plain big bag. So I'm going to be using this.
Thing, isn't it? You can choose to leave things off if you don't want to. The choice is yours.
Yeah, you know, and it's making the pockets. I mean, we've done videos for this. We've got step-by-step instructions, so it's easy to do. Your instruction booklet looks like this, and you'll get that in your pack. And we've given you measurements for how much you're going to need, how much fabric, whether you need lining fabric, whether you need not lining fabric, whether you need wadding, whether you need interfacing, and the size of zips. So you can see here for the large pouch, you need 2 12.5 or 12.25 inch zips and 2 4.5 inch zips. So if you were having to purchase those individually, it's going to be much more expensive, much harder to get hold of zips that small. So zips on the roll is definitely the way to go.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Becky. I also think, are you an immediate crafter like me?
Yeah.
So I could be sitting, having a cup of tea, having my crumpets for breakfast, and I'll think, I'm going to make a bag. And then I have to go make the bag. If I have to then go and shop, if I haven't got the things that I want and I have to go and shop, I get very frustrated.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to order and wait for the zips to come because they're just immediately there on your roll.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, because we've got them in so many different colours, you know, it all works together. But yeah, it was, I mean, I've done that it's difficult to find haberdashery shops anyway now, but going round into the shops and looking for zips, they never had the colour I wanted, they never had the length I wanted. It just is so much easier. I'm definitely a huge fan of the zips on a roll. So as you go through the little booklet, it will show you how many of everything you need, so whether you need lining and interfacing. Now, if you're going to be using it with something like sort of faux leather, you're probably not going to need any wadding because it's got quite a lot of structure in it. It depends the kind of thing you want. With these shaped bags, you do want them to sort of stand up, so you do want to put some kind of wadding or some kind of interfacing in there. So I've just used the ordinary sort of quilting weight wadding that I use, or batting, that I use for everything, and I've not used any interfacing because I didn't feel it actually needed it on this particular one. So we're going to work our way through the little booklet until you'll see all those different areas that you need to do. And as I say, we do have a video available for you to watch if that's the way you'll find it's easiest to learn. And we'll give you sort of step-by-step instructions for each one of these, because some of them are all slightly different, because you've got, you know, like the large one's got larger pockets in them. But we've given you all that information in there. So we'll get started now. So we need our fabric. So I chose the 12 Days of Christmas one, the little squares.
Glorious.
What I've already done is I've already got some wadding, and I've already adhered my fabric to my wadding, to my batting, with the spray. I always do it this way because I can't be bothered to try and match it up by cutting them separately. This way means I can cut everything in one go without having to worry about it. So we're going to fold everything in half, and then we're going to take the die. Now we want that open part to be on the actual fold, so your piece of fabric is going to look like that, sort of mirror imaged. So you just want to make sure you've got everything lined up. Now I will make sure I've got it round the right way. Becky, that way. Otherwise I'm going to make the other side upside down. And I always use a bit of low tack tape for this.
So where the steps coming in, that's the bottom of the bag.
That's the bottom, yeah.
That's what's going to box the bottom of your bag.
Yeah, that's
so for
right.
directional print, where the step comes in, that's at the bottom.
So you see that here.
Yeah.
So yes, that's the bottom.
Okay.
So that is where our
understand.
fold is there. And we just want to make sure that when we push down our fabric, that little point over this edge is hanging over. You may find that when it goes through a machine, you may just have to cut that piece where it's not sort of quite over the edge, but that's not a real hardship. So I'm going to put a little bit of tape on both ends just so it doesn't move. And I will always put the tape on when I'm doing something like this, because this is quite bulky now, because we've got four layers of fabric, or 2 layers of fabric, 2 layers of wadding sealed up there. So I'm using my fabric plates for this, and then run it through your Gemini.
Joe, I love that, because I've made a lot of bags in my time, and I made myself little card templates for the bag, for the core, you know, the little step cut out bit, depending on how wide I wanted the bottom to be. And no matter how many times I would draw around it, cut it, try and be really precise, I would always have a wonky bottom on my bag.
Well, you don't want a wonky bottom.
You definitely don't want a wonky bottom. And so having that die where it cuts it nice and precisely, it's going to be pristine, isn't it?
Yeah, it makes a big difference. And I think that's the game changer for me, having, I mean, before I worked here, I did have a die cutting machine that I was given, but I only used it for paper craft, and I had no idea you could use it for fabric. And then when I got my bag of goodies that arrived when I first started working, and I had all these things to play with, I was like, wow, actually all the things that I've never I never bothered making because they're just a little bit too much of a faff.
Yeah.
I can now make these with ease. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So we've cut out one of these. So this is the outer part of the bag. We need 2 of those, and we also need 2 in our lining fabric, which is going to be in this fabric. Then what I would do is it's now time to get a zip. So your zip's on the roll, you just pull those zip pulls out of the way, you only need 1. And then you would trim your zip to the right size. We then cut a little piece of fabric and we just finish off the very edges of that zip. So it looks like this here. And I've stitched that zip onto 1/2 of my bag. So you can see this is the outside part of my bag, and that's the inside, oh that's not it, and that's the inside part of my bag, that's the lining. So I'm going to do the other side of the bag now in exactly the same way. So we'll start off with our lining first, and we have our lining facing up, and we want our zip facing down, and then we want our fabric or outer part facing down. So when we've stitched everything together on our zip, it won't look, let's look in the wrong way around. Becky, 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 that way, then that way. Is that the right way?
Yeah,
Am I doing it the right way?
I think so.
God,
Yes, because
wait.
you're sandwiching your zip.
Like
so,
that, like
yeah.
that, like that. And that is, no, it's round the wrong way.
So you put your 2 linings together.
I can't do it, Leanne. That one and that
I'm
one.
coming over, Becky.
I can't
I'm coming
work
over.
it
Sometimes
out.
I do this, and then sometimes a different set of eyes.
And then,
So if this is
oh,
the
yes, this way,
outside of
this
your
way,
bag,
yes.
so have your 2 right sides
yes,
like
you're
that.
right. Yeah, so
And then
that bit,
that face is there.
yeah, that
and
go
then-
down.
Yeah.
That there, and then this way.
And then the
Thank
other-
goodness for Leanne.
Yeah.
Because I would have got myself into a terrible pickle. Don't do it that. Don't do it the way I was saying. So you have your lining facing up, and then we've got our zip facing up as well with that panel, and then we've got our outer piece facing down. So I am going to just pin everything together. Sometimes I find that when I'm putting zips in, sometimes the fabric runs away a little bit. It gets a little bit, not stretched, but it almost increases when you're
Yes.
sewing onto a zip. I actually found the best thing for me to do is to put a bit of glue in
Nice.
here, and that sticks everything together.
I have bought 2 tubs of that glue after watching you last week.
Really?
With the builder blocks, yeah.
Have you used it yet?
I have.
Yeah.
Do you know what I've done? I've fixed the dog kennel.
How?
I fixed the dog kennel with the glue, Becky.
With the glue?
Yeah, because my...
I'm pretty sure it doesn't say that on here. Fixes
Does
dogs.
it say for dog kennels on the tub? So we've got one of them fabric collapsible dog kennels,
Yeah.
and Minnie took exception to being in there one day and decided to chew through the zip
Oh
and
no.
come out. So the door was still working, but the zip wasn't attached to where it needed to be attached. And I would say for the past, and we only use it when they're in the car, so they're not, they're not on it all the time. But when my son comes to visit with his dog Elton, sometimes Elton's a naughty boy and he does need to go on the kennel. So long story short, I needed to fix the dog kennel, and I have needed to fix it for about 9 months, Becky, where I keep saying I'll stitch that zip back in place. However, I never stitch the zip back in place. When I watched you last week with the builder block, I thought, I wonder if I can fix the dog kennel. So I bought 2 of the glues, and I've glued the zip on the dog kennel, and it's fine.
Oh, brilliant.
I don't need to stitch it anymore, and it took me less than 5 minutes, Becky.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to know.
So now, it's now my second favourite glue in the world, that one.
What is your favourite glue in the world?
Collal all-purpose.
Oh, okay.
I love it. Because it gives brilliant rigidity, it's got movability, it makes cheap card feel like expensive card, bonds with the fibres, it'll never fall apart. And what I'm finding is everything I say that's great about Collal all-purpose is true of this, but for fabric.
Right. That's good to know.
So apparently, buy 2 get 1 free. Yes, on the all-purpose glue. If you're in the market for that, buy 2 get 1 free.
Wow.
But also, while you're shopping, get one of these fabric glues that Becky's using, because it's changed my life. I'm not going to have to sew the things I don't want to sew. I can only sew the things I do want to sew.
I just find it a bit of a game changer. I remember when I was when I first started and I was here with Bernie, and Bernie was saying, about gluing your curves, and I was like, really, not pinning it? And she was like, no, glue. And I was like, okay, I'm not entirely convinced. I just thought it's just going to move, it's not going to work. But it makes such a difference. And I hated sewing curves before because it's so fiddly, but that makes a big difference. So what I've done now is I've glued everything together, but I am going to stitch it because it does need stitching. I will just change the foot to a zip foot on there. But this is a really nice project to do. And it's not too difficult. In fact, this is probably, out of all of them, I mean, they're all very simple to do. They're not massively complicated designs, but this one is probably the quickest one to do because you've not got any gusset to do, and you've also not got any straps as well. So it's probably the easier one out of all of them.
Absolutely. Betty says, Becky, those trees are so doable, even for a nervous sewer. Completely agree with you. Coletta says, I love those trees, exclamation marks. And then we've also got, Hannah Law says, zips on a roll are a game changer. Angela Blaney says, oh, I bought these and fabric coat a while ago and not got around to using them yet. I'm going to repurpose some of my parents' clothes to make them so we get to keep their memory in a practical way. That's a lovely idea, Angela. Kathy's got a question for us, Becky. Kathy Leah on Facebook wants to know, are the bag dies deep enough to die cut through pre-quilted fabric?
Yes, because I mean this is effectively pre-quilted because you've got, you know, you're only going to be, you might have a backing piece, but actually
one layer of cotton.
Yeah, you're not going to have any more than that. I mean, I've not used. It's just your normal. I can't even remember what it is. It's just your normal bog standard, no sort of batting that I'm using here. I'm not using anything more exciting. I'm not using anything particularly thick. I mean, you could make one of these that you wanted to keep something warm in and use some of the heat.
Yes, you know, like for the heat, for the dishes, like the dish carriers.
Yeah, you could do something like
for
that.
The table.
That's definitely something
Bread
you can do.
baskets.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Christmas table.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a great idea.
Oh, I'm liking that idea. Penny Law on YouTube. What's the name of the glue you're using? Let's show Penny. So the glue Becky is using is our Kalal fabric glue.
Yeah, yes, Kalal textile glue, and it, I've used it a lot. This is probably half full, and I use it regularly, so a little goes a long way. If you've seen, I just dab it on. You don't need loads, but it is really great. It's good for all sorts of different things. I mean, even to the point where, you know, if your hems come down on your trousers or something, as a quick fix.
Oh my word,
that's quite good.
This is going to be my new favourite glue. I feel it in my water, my new favourite glue. All the Kalal glues are great. I've put a heel on a pair of stilettos with the 3D glue gel. Have I told you that?
No.
Yes, I lost the heel off a pair of shoes. I was away at a conference, had some Kalal 3D glue gel, stuck the heel back on my shoe, let it dry in my hotel room overnight, walked on it all the next day.
No.
That's a true story.
That is incredible.
I have fixed my shower with the Kalal glue. I fixed an awning when we were away in the caravan with the Kalal glue. A bread bin I fixed with Kalal glue. And now also the dog kennel.
I hope you're on commission is all I can say, Leann.
I'm not. I mean, they did one. So, you know, I call it the best glue in the world. Because I was calling it the best glue in the world, people were actually searching in the search engine the best glue in the world. And so the company Kalal had to buy the websites, the best glue in the world, in case somebody else got a glue and called it the best glue in the world and picked up all the sales that they were getting off Kalal glue. Yeah, I've fixed all sorts of it. It's absolutely fabulous. Penny says, how did you lay the cutting plates? Penny, the sandwich for our deep dyes is clear and then fabric, dye on top, thin shim, clear. You can have your metal shim in there if you want to. Depends on how many layers you're cutting. It is in the brochure on the Gemini machine, so just follow what it tells you in there.
We've got the zip in the middle. We've got, this is your outer part of your bag, and this is your inner part of your bag. Now, what we're going to do here is, if you have a look in the little booklets, the first part is talking about all those little zip pockets, which we've not actually done. But now what we want to do is we want to put on one side all of the outer panels, on the other side all of the lining panels, and then we're going to stitch everything together, leaving a little bit of a gap, but not stitching around here because we're going to stitch those as the last thing, and that's going to create those little angles for your pouch. So we're going to move
beautifully
lining.
precise. And when you've cut it yourself,
Yeah.
your edges don't meet like that, do
No,
they?
no, they don't. And you know, if the more you pin, the more likely everything will be that it matches up. If you haven't pinned when you're stitching, you will find there's a little bit of movement. I will be honest. Because it's inevitable, because this is obviously quite thin, this is quite thick, you know, different fabrics sort of move in a different way. If you're going to be maybe if you're using some of that beautiful velvet we had a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, it is lovely. Maybe some silk in the inside, make it really sumptuous. Actually, you wouldn't want to put silk on the inside, would you? You just get covered in makeup and...
No, but it would be
lovely.
So lovely.
Or maybe this is a pouch for diamonds.
Yes. And then you would want
I'm going to keep on talking about the diamonds. Yeah, just...
Well, I'm just talking about them as manifesting that it will happen.
Do you think?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I'll that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Yeah. In fact, I went out with a friend. We went to for a brunch up in town, and we had we were in Harrods, so we were looking at all of the beautiful diamonds and things like that, and just looking at all the people inside the little concessions ordering diamonds.
Yeah.
You know, and you just think, oh, no, I was quibbling about having a cup of tea. I've just marked here because this point here is where I want to keep it open so I can turn it out.
Yeah.
And so just a little mark with my heat erasable pen. You could do it with tailor's chalk if you don't have one of those, but just a little mark to stop you from stitching.
And those heat erasable pens are in your tool bundle, where you're getting your bag free. So you're getting your corner tool, your heat erasable pens, and your little snips, and then you're getting that bag free. And you've got the details all on the bottom of the screen there for you if you are interested in that.
And you'll use those heat erasable pens all the time, won't you?
All the time.
I'd use them on felt actually, and obviously on felt, especially if it's acrylic felt, you don't want to use the iron, so I just use my hairdryer to get rid of the marks.
Yes, and what I've done in the past is I was away, I can't remember where I was at a sewing group, and there wasn't an iron, or the iron wasn't working, and I'd marked on, I was dressmaking, and I'd marked on front and back. I was learning how to make a fitted top to my dimensions, and I couldn't get because I had the mark on and the iron wasn't working and something had happened to it. I actually just put it on the radiator. Oh yeah. And the heat from the radiator erased all the marks. So many different ways you can do it.
Yeah. When they first came out, that's what my mum did. She wrote a cheque and she put it on the radiator because it was close by the door, and then the cheque, you know, was blank when I think it was a milkman or whoever came to collect it. And my mum was just like, I just don't understand. And she said, someone's been in my house, someone's changed this thing. She spent ages. And then when I went over and I said, so what did you do? And then I saw, and I was like, no, Mum, this is a heat erasable pen. But she thought, because she was thinking friction,
yes,
and not really thinking it through. But they were something that my children would have when they were at school, because they were quite useful for them just to generally write with. But using them for sewing is just wonderful. So we're stitching around all these sides. And they're very quick make to do. So you can definitely make a few of these in a day. So you can get on with your Christmas gifts.
Absolutely, and they're fun. For little sets of these handmade as Christmas gifts, I think they'd be very well received. Because I don't know what everybody else is like, but when I travel a lot, specifically when I'm going over to China to see our manufacturers, when you could travel, haven't been, probably won't be until things do settle down a lot more. Yeah. But in my cases, I have to have everything in a pouch. So, like you said before, I would have a pouch for chargers, a pouch for toiletries, a pouch for face makeup, a pouch for my jewellery. I then make drawstring bags for shoes to go in. I like everything in my case to be very well organised and to be themed in a bag. Am I a bit OCD with that, do you think, Becky? Are you
one of those people that secretly hopes that customers is going to pull them over just so you can show them how immaculately tidy?
So it's so funny you should say that. I was travelling with Ross Hodgson, who used to work with us years ago, very good friend of ours at Crafters TV, and we'd both gone to China for some reason, and they did make us open our bags. Now, He was a young man at that point, and obviously I was old enough to be his mother. We both opened our cases and everything fell out of Ross's case. Unmentionables.
Oh no.
And everything was just shoved in on top. There was shoes in with clean shirts. There were it was all over the place. And I opened my case and he just looked at it and he went, I've got case envy. That is the most organised case I've ever seen. How long did you spend packing that? I said, it took me 10 minutes because everything's in the correct pouch. So I make big cotton bags with zips in, dead easy, flat, to put my underwear in when I'm travelling, Becky, because if you do get stopped at customs and have to open it, you don't want all those things falling out for everyone to see, do you?
No, you don't. And it is, you know, you don't want to be that person whose luggage is going around the carousel and, you know, the unmentionables have fallen out. You don't want to do that, do you?
No, you definitely don't. It would be highly embarrassing.
I dread that being me one day. It would be a terrible thing. Now, I'm having a little bit of fiddle around here because I forgot to undo the zip. So if you just bear with me.
No problem.
And I will...
Should we have a look at these pattern quilting guides while you're finding the zip end? Absolutely no problem at all. So we have got these fabulous quilting guides for you, which are truly genius. If you've struggled to do different patterns on your quilting and you've wondered how it happens, if you've wanted to do some different patterns on your quilting and not been able to work out how to do it, or you're worried about free motion, these pattern guides, and if we just look at these patterns down the side here, are absolutely fabulous because they tessellate. So you use your free motion foot on your sewing machine and you literally just free motion round that shape so the foot fits into the aperture in the quilting guide, and then you move your fabric around. And if we look at these designs down the side, this pattern guide will make those quilted patterns for you on your patchwork. And you can see that there's 4 different patterns for that one. Now there is 50% off this deal. You're buying 2 and getting 2 free, and you're getting 4 very different and unique patterns. And if we just stay close on this here, you can see the 4 different patterns that are created. So I think it's more important we see this than the actual guide. Thanks very much, George. Because you can see, for example, this one, it's a bit like spirograph, where you can go all the way around and do a circle. You can do this, which is like a Moroccan window. You can do this, this looks like a heartbeat to me. It really is a fabulous, fabulous way of doing different and unique quilted patterns onto your projects. That could be quilted onto fabric for the bags that Becky's just been showing you how to make. It could be on a lap quilt, on a pillow, on a cushion, on a full quilt for your bed. It just really is the easiest way, without sending your quilt off to be professionally quilted, to get those designs. It really is. And 50% saving on these, £31.98 or £45.90. It is an absolutely fabulous deal, and that platinum price is exceptional. And it's not a choice of, you're getting all 4. Now we've also got my personal favourite applique dies of all time. I love these stars. When the team, the Softcraft team, made these, I was cock-a-hoop, can I just tell you, because I think they're absolutely glorious. It's Christmas decorations, and they are applique, and they're all in that star design. And in each one of the packs, you make those 6 different characters. So 18 characters available to you here across these 3 different sets. And you've got a saving, just tell me the saving again. 30% saving, which is fabulous. £54 or $69 to make 18 Christmas decorations, each with a different applique style on, is exceptional value for money, that saving. And they're very easy to do, and they make such a significant impact. I absolutely adore them. You don't just have to use them as the little padded decorations. You can use them as flat applique. You could be using them for Christmas decorations. You could be putting them on to buy a plain pair of very inexpensive pyjamas, applique onto a pyjama top if you wanted to. Do it for a pyjama case for Christmas. Just so many different things you could do. Christmas jumpers.
Plain top, and then do all those for your Christmas jumpers.
Do all of those on there. I love that idea. So many things you can do with them. So definitely have a little shop ahead and have a look at those. And I know Becky is going to show us these next, I believe. Are you okay there, Becky? Did
Yeah,
you find
sorry
your
about
zip?
that.
That's okay.
Bit of a disaster. Undo the zip before you start doing that bit. Just say all of that in the instructions and on the video, but I just went ahead. So you basically turn the whole bag through the hole in the lining. So that would be what your bag will look like. But what we want to finish off is we want to finish off the bag. So we want to stitch here on the lining, but we also want to stitch. That's that little hole, the little gap that we left open. But we also want to stitch these pieces in as well. So these are going to create those little box ends. So we're going to do that with the lining as well as the outer parts. But to save a bit of time, I'm just going to do it with the outer part so you can see what it will look like when it's finished. So we're just going to match up these pieces here.
I'm absolutely adoring this.
Give it a little bit of a, I mean, this fabric is so lovely. This is perfect for a, you know, sort of toiletry bag for Christmas.
Yeah.
My nieces have asked, my younger nieces have asked for some makeup for Christmas, and so this will be what their makeup goes in.
And what a lovely gift.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Before I do it that way, I've got to do it this way, haven't I?
Can I just say, everybody needs a Tracy in their lives.
Oh, Tracy, thank you.
We've got it. I mean, I don't think she would come on the screen if I asked her to. I think she'd probably tell me absolutely no. She hasn't got her makeup on. We'll get her on the screen one day for you. Everybody needs a Tracy. She's fabulous, isn't she?
She is.
Look, she just delivered a lovely, nice cup of tea for me and Becky. She keeps us so well organised. We're grateful for her every day.
It makes a big difference having a regular cup of tea.
It does. You can never have too much tea in your life.
No. What tea do you go for? Yorkshire tea?
Yorkshire tea
Tea.
or Ringtons.
Yeah.
Now I think Ringtons is a northeast thing. I don't know if you get. Do you get the Ringtons man knocking on your door, Becky?
No. No.
Nobody's heard of the Ringtons man.
No.
So, Ringtons started in Northumberland, Newcastle, like early 1800s. Been going for years, and basically he was the tea man. So he'd have a wicker bath, horse and cart to start with, and then would come round with the tea leaves.
Sound like you were born in the 1800s.
Well, so I would imagine. I've seen the photographs, and then he would come knock on with a basket full of the tea, knock on the door, sell you your tea. And that tradition has stayed. Of course, they're not in horse and carts anymore. They're in a van. But they still come with a wicker basket, and they knock on your door and you can buy the tea off the Ringtons man. Brilliant tea cakes, marshmallow tea cakes, beautiful ginger biscuits, fabulous shortbread. Yeah, so we buy off the Ringtons man.
Oh, okay. No, I've never heard of that at all.
Becky, I'm going to bring you a packet of Ringtons tea in.
Is it as good as Yorkshire tea?
I would say we would need to have a tea off because
Oh, yeah.
I think I was always a Yorkshire Gold girl.
Mm.
I think I prefer Ringtons.
Okay. All right. I'll give it a whirl.
Bring it in,
Yeah.
and we'll have a tea off.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like that idea.
Okay, we'll do it.
Well,
That looks absolutely fabulous.
So you've got your lining in here.
Beautiful.
Obviously, I've not stitched my
No.
lining just to save a bit of time, but you've got that little pouch. So this is the largest of the wash day pouches, but you can obviously make lots of different sizes. This one doesn't have the zips in on the side for the little pocket, but absolutely great
Gorgeous.
little
and
bag.
you can buy some really inexpensive toiletries,
Yeah.
pop them in there.
Yeah.
It's a gift for Christmas. The bag is kept and reusable.
Yeah.
And I just think it's absolutely glorious. I love it. We've got so many comments coming through, Becky. So many people watching. So Brenda Baby wants to know, is there a song for Zips on a Roll? Singing it. Zips on a roll, zips on a roll. Zips on a roll. Hey, that's it. Wait. That's as much as I can do. Penny, I've done that for Penny. Kathy Leah, do you have a problem with the glue sticking or gumming up your needle? No.
So now, what you will find is if you are too heavy-handed with the glue, you get it all over yourself, first of all, but you will find that you get a little bit of the glue stuck on the teeth of your machine. I hadn't even noticed it. It was only when I was sewing something that was red, and I was like, I've got loads of red fluff, and I sort of got a pin and lifted it all off, and it just came off in one lump. You don't need much of the glue at all. You need to use it very sparingly. If I just find a little piece of fabric, If I was going to be stitching or sticking this together, I wouldn't even put a full line. I would just be putting like a.
So it's the tiniest amount.
This is how much you would need to use.
Almost to the point where you think that's not going to stick.
Yeah. You don't need much, because when you start pressing it down, if you've got too much, it's all going to come out of the side. It doesn't gum up your machine, doesn't gum up your needle at all. It's very good. What I do is I normally sort of press everything down and basically until it's sort of fairly dry. You can see that's stuck.
Wow. It stuck me zip on the dog kennel, guys. What more can I say?
Yeah.
And if it can cope with an angry Minnie, it can cope with anything. It can. Let's just say that. And she's angry because Ted won't leave her alone. So she needs some space.
I'm hoping both of those names are names of the dogs and not names of your local neighbours.
No, so I'm getting Minnie from next door and cramming her in the dog kennel. Get in there, Minnie. I'll bring you a cup of tea later. No, she definitely is a Jack Russell. But she's 13 and she's miserable, bless her. She's just, she's earned the right to be very grumpy. Has Minnie, and she embraces it, she really does. Joanne, she said, I just bought a new sewing machine a couple of weeks ago and it's still in its box. However, this is getting me motivated to get it out and start learning it. Good, I'm pleased. Do it, Joanne. Anne Kalanuskis, she says, could you use the heat erasable pen to mark on card and then erase it with a heat gun? Yes, you can. Do it. It's a brilliant idea. Oh, my word. Everybody who bought the template TS. Use the heat erasable pens. I've been using a pencil and an eraser in all the videos. Scratch that, get the pens, use that instead, erase it with a heat gun. Genius, Anne, thank you. Cindy Dotty on Facebook, she says, I've purchased several sets of this fabric. What is the best way to ensure the red especially does not bleed? Colour catchers, I would say. Pre-wash if you want to. I do like to pre-wash my fabrics. I think it's very much you're either one or you're the other. I do, but you don't have to. And if you're not and you're worried about that, those very inexpensive colour catchers that you put in the washing machine, will catch any of it'll save you bacon, I think. I don't know, what do you think, Becky?
Yeah, I mean, they wash very well, but I always wash all my fabrics before I use them.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to do shows here, but if I was going to be doing something that I know I was going to end up washing, I would definitely wash it first.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to get ready to show you something exciting with those applique dies. And just in case you're wondering what we're all about here at Crafters TV, we've got a little video that tells you all about us.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
The one that was really funny, Ben. You didn't.
It was better than your I'm a gnome and I live in a caravan.
I am a gnome and I live in a caravan.
Can we clip that? Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us, you give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV, create every day.
I have to tell you, every single person works tirelessly behind the scenes, and I can't just give a shout out to one person, because for me it has to be John, Tracy and Jake.
Going to give a shout out to our backstage hero, and I'm actually going to say heroes. It has got to be our product coordination team. It's got to be.
Because without those 3 people, when we're on air, we wouldn't be able to function like we do. They make sure we have everything we need, right from the samples to the product to having a drink of water throughout the show. They really look after us.
You see us day in, day out, 7 days a week, live on TV. We're crafting away. We're hopefully inspiring you. Every single card, every single product, every single tool that we touch has come from product coordination. Those guys are the unsung hero. They're there making sure we have the products, we have the inks, we have the tools, we have everything that we need. We have the power to actually work our Gemini ranges. The smooth running of behind the scenes of Crafters TV is all down to our product coordination team.
Here at Crafters TV, it couldn't be easier to get your hands on the latest crafty must-haves. Leave the hard work to us while you shop from the comforts of your own living room. Head to the Crafters Companion website to see our full crafty range, or hit the Shop the Day button to see all the new and exciting products featuring on Crafters TV. Once you've filled your cart, leave it to us to get your crafty goodies to you in super quick time, so you can get on with being creative. Crafters Companion, making crafty shopping a breeze.
Now you've been shopping in the break and you can't say I didn't tell you, that I didn't give you one. And in fact, during that break, it was like, oh, there's only a handful of stockings left. I'm like, oh, okay, we better tell everybody in case they wanted. And then just before we came back to you, the stocking has sold out and gone. There's no stock in. No, there's... Oh, Becky. There's no stock in of the stocking. Very good. I think that might have been a bit better than George's, Becky. I mean, honestly, I think that was the classy version, George. So congratulations if you got it. You're absolutely going to love making that. I'm thrilled you've got it, actually, because it is beautiful. And please do share photographs of you making this on all of the social media channels. So we've also got this amazing, it's a ½ metre bundle, this, I believe, rather than fat quarters. Let's just check on the screen. ½ meters, yes. So it looks like it could be a fat quarter bundle, but actually they're ½ meters of fabric that you're getting here. So it's a really lovely wodge. And I can hardly believe that for £11.50 you are getting the equivalent of 2.5 meters of fabric. I have opened it up. We're not going to tell Tracy that I've opened it up. But anyway, you need to see the patterns, don't you? Love those little gingerbread houses. They're absolutely glorious. I think I'm going to attempt making a gingerbread house with Ada this year.
Love a gingerbread house.
Yeah, me too. I think I'll make the house when she's in bed and she can decorate for next week. She's too little to be bored with mixing and putting things in the oven, and also too dangerous when she's just gone 2 and it's hot. So I'm going to make the house the night before and then she can help decorate the next day. So we've got that one in there as well, ½ metre of this. This is my favourite. I don't know what it is about, I just feel it's happy. It's a really lovely fabric. The quality, threaders, exceptional quality, 100% quilting cotton, really lovely sumptuous feel to it. That's the cookies that you've got on there, and that lovely red, and then you've got that lovely heart design on that kind of like a grey duck egg blue. And I just want to open one out and show you the size that you're getting, and you're getting 5 pieces this size for your £11.50, which I think is absolutely brilliant value for money. Look, all of that fabric, which is absolutely fabulous, and 5 ½ meters like that, 2.5 meters of exceptional quality quilting cotton for £11.50 or £13.28, I think is good value by any standard. Would you agree? £9.20 if you're a platinum member, Becky.
Mental. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense, does it? And can I just say there's not many left. Now, I warned you on the stocking, didn't I? I'm warning you on these. There's not many left. So if you fancy it, definitely go for it. I want a half apron, Becky, in this.
It sounds very much like a loaded comment then.
With a ruffle. Well, it might be a little bit loaded, yes.
With a ruffle, or a proper 1950s kind of.
Proper 1950s pocket ruffle. great big bow to tie at the back.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah.
massive what, that's...
Do you want to be a Stepford wife?
I want to be a Stepford wife, only in the apron department.
Okay.
Yeah. I really, really love it. I just think it's so happy. I've got a bit of a thing for half aprons at the minute. However, the big apron with a crossover at the back, I've got apron envy now. I feel I need one of them in my life.
And I have lots of different ones. I have a going out one. Well, not going out, but party one, and it's shot denim. So it's shot with silver.
Oh, amazing. What has sold out? These. Oh, I was going to show you these. These have sold out as well. So additional half meters to go with that half meter bundle. You were shopping and they've gone, so they're not available anymore either. So if you like those fabrics, then you definitely need, and there's not many. I'm folding it up now. I'm going to stop folding it up. I'll do that in a minute, because you're just watching me fold fabric now, having a nice chat. Applique dyes are the next thing we're going to have a look. We had a little sneaky peek of these. 18 different characters for that price that you've got there of £54. These were new this year, I believe, from memory. Yes, they were new this year. And only £54 for all 3 sets. You've got a 30% saving on this. I think for $43.20 if you're a platinum member, to be able to make these into so many different things, Becky. They're gorgeous, aren't they?
Absolutely gorgeous, and the samples that we've got are just amazing. As always, I mean, quite often people say to me, do you make them? I don't make them. The design team do them, and they make the best samples. They are absolutely stunning. So if any of you watching, you do a great job. Look at this little wreath. This is made out of using those dyes, using the ones with all sort of the nativity characters in there. Can't really call them nativity characters, nativity key people I would call them. And these have all been so stuffed, so these are sort of like nice and puffy. That looks really, really lovely. Great item to have. But you could also use them for decorating your oven gloves. So you've got some Christmassy oven gloves. You could just buy some inexpensive oven gloves from a high street store, decorate them, and you've got, you know, a lovely gift to give somebody that's maybe cooking Christmas lunch. Or if you're like me, you like to have your Christmas towels out. You've got these, just making those little designs on an ordinary inexpensive towel, using them on a Christmas jumper maybe, or just an ordinary jumper that you want to make look like a Christmas jumper. This is a little table runner that we've got here with all those different characters on those. So those are the Festive Friends one, I think, or the Festive Animals. And then finally, this is the one which I think looks really spectacular. This is an advent calendar with all those different characters in there. So they've made them into little pockets, big enough to fit a chocolate coin in, or, you know, a little bit of jewellery, or a lottery ticket.
Yes.
If you want to do something along those lines. But really, really lovely. And they're very, very simple to use. So we've used them predominantly with felt, but you could use them with ordinary fabric. I'd put Bonder web on the back of the fabric before I cut them out, but felt is the way to go for what I'm going to be doing at the moment. So I've got a whole big bundle of felt here, and I've also got, the one I'm going to be using is the nativity character designs here. So you've got the kings, you've got the baby, you've got Mary, and you've got Joseph. These are what your dies will look like. Actually, they won't look like this because they look a little bit more organised than this because these are mine. But they are, you can mix and match these to a certain extent. So, for example, with these ones, these characters, we've only got a single star background. But with these ones, we've got a double star background. There's nothing to stop you from doubling up and doing that. You know, you can sort of use different elements in these for other characters if that's what you wanted to do, but they work really, really well together. So we're just going to cut a few shapes out of felt so I can show you how it works with your machine. Now you've basically got a recipe in here of how to make your characters. That's what I would call it, a little recipe. So it shows you step by step how to put together the different shapes in order to create those different designs. So you can see these will be all the dies you'll get in this particular pack. You don't get any eyes in here. So the eyes would be something you would either draw on with a pen, you would stitch, maybe use some beads, that kind of thing, but you don't have tiny. Yeah, you don't have tiny little dies, which I think is quite a good thing because those tiny little dies you just lose very, very easily. But you can see how to put everything together, and each one of these packs will have the same sort of plan for you, same recipe, just for those different characters. So we're going to make a king. Oh no, we're going to make a wise man. wise man, three kings. They're the same things, I think. I don't know. I always think wise men are an oxymoron, but there you go. No one's picked up on that, even though there are two men in the gallery. Now we're going to be, I'm going to do some different shapes. So I think we'll do the large star, the small star. I think we'll do this one. Maybe we'll do a crown as well. And that should be sufficient for the time going, because I've already sort of pre-prepared my pieces anyway. Yeah. I find I want to cut 2 layers of felt at any one time. I never want to cut one. I find it works better cutting 2. And I also, if you don't have your fabric plates, you can absolutely cut these without your fabric plates. You can cut them with your ordinary Gemini plates. And I find that sometimes with felt, particularly you've got to work out how thick or thin it is, because sometimes you can get some felt that's really, really thick, and some you get that's really, really fine. So it's a little bit of trial and error. You're always going to need to cut more than one, or you always should cut more than one, because realistically you're going to need lots of different pieces of this. Yes. And I always think it's better to cut more, so you've got a few to choose from. Now, the other option for this is cutting loads of these out and using them as fuzzy felt. Using them as a game for children to do, so they can create their own characters.
Why did I not think of that?
Put that in a little bag, or make a little gift bag that we've done here. Yes. And then they've got all those different sort of characters in there for Christmas. So we're going to do one of those.
I'm going to take these dies home at the weekend. I don't own them. I'm going to do it.
You're going to do it?
Yeah.
I think they're lovely. They're really beautiful.
I love that idea. And Ada will love doing that. She's at that age where she will absolutely, she loves her puzzles and things.
I don't even know if they do still sell fuzzy felt.
I loved fuzzy felt.
Me too.
Yeah. It was one of my favourite things. My favourite fuzzy felt set was a farmyard fuzzy felt set that I had.
I think I might have had that one. I had a ballet one as well.
Oh, I think I might have had that one too. I loved it so much.
And hours of fun and no mess.
Yes.
Which I think is what my mum liked.
No glue. Yeah.
It was always a good thing
Brenda
to have.
Bibby Woods on Facebook, Becky, she says, I'm amazed at Becky's makes.
Oh,
Isn't that lovely? Pamela Greenridge on Facebook, she says, that is an awesome toilet bag, Becky. Kathy Lee says, wow, the glue works great. Thanks, Leanne, for asking Becky. Love both you lovely ladies. Anne Kalanuska says, Leanne said I'm a genius. That is high praise indeed. You've made my day. If the cap fits, Anne. Thank you both. I will wash in case of slight shrinkage, Cindy, with the washing of the fabric. And Carol, that wreath is amazing. Makes me want to dust off the sewing machine. And then she's put almost. Remember, Carol, if you don't want to sew them, glue them. Yep. You could glue them. You could still get the dies. And bearing in mind, Becky's just shown you how fabulous that glue is. Get them, cut them out with felt, glue them. Why not? No, there is no sewing police round here. If you can't be bothered to sew them, glue them. That's what I would do, Carol. I think they look just as good. Do you not, Becky?
Yeah, I do. I mean, if you're going to fill them with stuffing, the glue might not be the best thing to do. You might need to put some stitching around there. You could do a little bit of blanket stitch, but sewing felt by hand is actually quite pleasurable. Yes. Because it's quite easy to do. But if you're going to stuff them a lot, the glue might not be ideal for the glue.
Blanket stitch around. But you could hand stitch them. You don't have to get your machine out.
No,
you
not
do
at
it
all.
in front of the TV on a night.
Absolutely.
Okay.
When you went through the machine, you probably heard a little bit of crackling, a slightly different crackling to the crackling you're used to hearing. That's just because felt has got lots of fibres in it, and it makes that kind of crackling noise. So it's not anything to worry about. It's just the fact that it's just the felt. Actually, these work really well with tweed. You can cut some nice bits of fabric out of the tweed as well.
I bet that would be lovely.
So that's a good option.
Carol D on YouTube says, I've never cut fabric in the Gemini. Does it require special plates?
Well, you can have special plates. So these are our special fabric plates. If I move that out the way, and you can see, these are our fabric plates, which are much thicker metal plates than you would get with your normal Gemini. So with your Gemini, you would get this kind of metal shim, which is quite flexible. these are not flexible. You will, if you're going to be cutting lots of fabric, these are the best things to have, particularly if you're going to be using something like your builder block system. Now I've had these for over a year, 18 months, something like that. You can see that, I mean, they look barely used, and they are used every single day. And as I said last week, I don't even bother going to get my other plates when I'm doing paper craft. I just use these because they're to hand. So all you would do is you have your clear plate, you have your metal plates, one's A and one's B. One's slightly thicker than the other, but I don't think it really matters which way around you put them. In fact, actually, when I say one's A, one's B, actually these are both A, because I've obviously picked up the wrong ones from home, and then you put the clear plate over the top. So you can absolutely cut your fabric with your Gemini, and you can use a configuration with your existing plates if that's what you want to do. So if you haven't got the fabric plates, you use your clear plate, you use your metal shim, use a fabric with the die facing down, then you use that sort of clear frosted shim, and then you use your clear plate over the top, and that will cut out beautifully. I mean, it cuts out felt very, very well by using that, but it also cuts out fabric. You possibly might not get as many cuts in one go as you would do with
6 you get.
So you'd probably get 8 or 10 sometimes with those fabric plates.
Completely agree.
But it's definitely worth giving it a try, and then discovering that you're going to be cutting more, and therefore you want to use go and get those fabric plates.
Lillian Kwok has got a question for you, Becky.
Yeah.
She literally just says, Christmas towels.
Yeah.
She wants to know, what is that phenomena of a Christmas towel, Becky? That's what she wants to know.
I mean, do you not, when you've got people coming over, do you not have Christmas towels out?
Well, I have towels that the family aren't allowed to use, but I wouldn't say they've got no Christmas decoration on them.
Mine have got Christmas stuff all over them.
Have they?
Oh yeah. Mine have got reindeer on. I've got Christmas spoons that come out.
You?
Yeah, with little penguins on the top.
Are you really called Buddy and not Becky? Do you put maple syrup on your spaghetti? We're going to call you Becky the Elf. That's what we're going to call you.
Becky the Elf. Yeah. I do all those things. I think having at Christmas we have lots of people over on Boxing Day, so we have anything from 25 to 60, 70 people over. And yeah, of course, I definitely have to go all out for that day. I have to make sure that I've got Christmas towels and...
So that's now... Have you ever watched the movie Christmas with the Cranks? So now you're sounding like Mrs. Crank now. I think that's wonderful. I love having people over at Christmas. I haven't yet done the Christmas towels and the Christmas spoons, but I do have Christmas plates that are only for Christmas, that are decorated, in the traditional fashion.
Oh, have you gone for super traditional ones, like with the Christmas tree on?
Spode,
yeah.
I love them.
Yeah. I was going to say, when you were talking about everything being red and green, I thought that must be the crockery of choice.
Yes, I really do love it. However, I do intersperse the black toast range, which is the gold foil one, the Emma Bridgewater one.
Oh yes.
She does Christmas where it's cream with gold writing on. That works very well with
lovely.
the Christmas tree one. I do like a nice bit of crockery.
Me too.
Yeah, it's nice. It just makes the whole pleasure of eating so much better, I think.
I think you're absolutely right. So I've pulled apart some of the bits of felt, so you can see how they all come together. So that is the circle for the face. You've got the star. You've got his beard. You've got his clothing and your crown. You can mix and match with whatever you want to do. But here's one in best TV tradition that I made earlier. Which is this one here. And then I'm just doing French knots for his eyes, so I'll continue to do that. And then he's ready to be popped onto my oven glove, because you have to have Christmas oven gloves.
I've just had a thought.
Yeah?
Is that the Christmas police?
He does, doesn't he? Yeah. I hadn't actually thought about that, and I don't actually think I followed the recipe. No, look. He should have a flame up here, like a feather.
Like Aladdin.
He does look a little bit like he's like
a fireman or a policeman. Right. It's the Christmas police.
Now then.
But you know what? I love that because it shows you can make your own characters as well. And if I've fuzzy felted these up for the granddaughters, they can make whatever character they want. And if you're married to a policeman, do a decoration with a Christmas police on. How fabulous! Do a red one and it could be a Christmas fireman. A white one it could be a Christmas ambulance person. I'm loving it.
It does look a little bit like it's. I was watching Home Alone. It's like the British version, the Cockney version of a low. He's like, all right, mate.
I love it.
With his bowler hat on. Oh dear. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, he does look a lot like that. So.
Tammy, Tammy of the name that I couldn't pronounce, and I've already forgotten how to pronounce it from the show this morning. I'm sorry, Tammy. Tammy has different hand towels for the kitchen and half bathroom for each holiday as well.
Oh, good. I'm in good company there.
And Melanie D, I love towels for all the holidays. So that's Easter, Thanksgiving, everything. Brenda, okay, now I'm feeling I'm left out of the towel gang. Everybody, lots of comments here. Everybody's got the towels for the seasons.
Leann, I feel quite sorry for you not having Christmas towels.
I feel I'm deprived.
You are?
So I'm going to rectify that this weekend. I'm going to go shopping for Christmas towels, Becky.
You don't need to go shopping for Christmas towels, Leann. You just need to go and buy an inexpensive white towel, and then you need to buy these
and put some Christmas
and then put them on your Christmas.
Yes, okay. I will do that. I will absolutely do that. Now we need to get demo of the show.
Oh right, okay.
Okay, are you ready? It was your bag, your toiletry bag. No, your tree. Your little tree was number one.
Yeah.
Tree was number one. Toiletry bag was number two. Number three, Christmas policeman. I know who I'm voting for. Please, Susie, social media superstar, can you put my vote in for Christmas policeman? Thank you. George, what are you voting for? Christmas policeman. Jamie. He's going for the bag. He doesn't really like the bag. He likes the Christmas policeman. He's just trying to be different.
Well, the Christmas policeman is supposed to go on the oven glove. Oh, the oven glove,
yes. Oh, I like that. And that's what my Christmas towels are going to look like. I absolutely love that.
Do you know what? Some of this fabric, just a trim on your plain towel, that would make it look really Christmassy.
So I could get the gingerbread lane one. I could just cut strips and strips of that on. Maybe a little bit of rickrack. Oh, I'm going to do that. Okay, so get your votes in. Jamie's just revealed a lot about himself there. Jamie's just said, I've picked the one that I think's going to win. Says a lot about you, Jamie. A lot. So get your votes in. We'd like to know what the demo of the show is. What are we going to have a look at then while we're doing that? Well, we're going to have a look at the fabric of the week.
Shall I carry on and finish off the oven glove while you're doing that?
Yes, why not? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Thank you, Becky. So fabric of the week was this fabulous Lewis and Irene 12 Days of Christmas. And you are absolutely loving it. It's really lovely and you are buying it. So if you love this, don't think it's going to be here for infinity and beyond. I think it might disappear at some point. You don't want to be disappointed. So that's your cream. And it has your gold foil accents on there. $7.49 for half a metre is absolutely fantastic, especially for this quality of quilting cotton. We've got our same design, but on that kind of greeny blue duck egg background there. The next one is the same design, but on the red. So squares on red. Beautiful, rich Christmas red there. Love that. Gold accents on all of those. Our script cream fabric, which is gorgeous and actually has "and a partridge in a pear tree" written on the fabric. It's got the actual rhyme on there, which I love. So that's your cream script. We've got our green script. There we go. Love that green. I know I keep saying it, but it's a true, rich, nice, good green. It's a good green. And there are some greens out there that are not good. There are some not good greens out there. That's an excellent one. This is a beautiful red berry in the script. And you've got half a metre of each of these choices, remember. So you're getting a nice, goodly sized piece to be able to do whatever you want to do with it. We've got holly on the black there. There we go, holly on black. Then we've got our, I think I've got it all mixed up. Which one do you want now? Holly on green? Oh, okay, we've got mirrored natural. Feels like shortbread, that. I absolutely love it. There we go, mirrored natural, I love that. Such a really lovely complementary. We've got the mirrored on green. And we've got our holly on blue. And the next one will be holly on cream. There we go, that's holly on cream. And then we've got our mirrored red. Thank you. And then we've got our scattered red. And our scattered green. And depending on whether there are lots of colours on it or whether it's more of a monotone colour, it goes from £7.49 to £6.99. 50p difference really makes no matter. Half a metre of all of those. Just tell me that again, sorry, Jamie. Oh, 60%'s gone on these. Now, remember what happened when 60% of the stocking had gone. It was 60%, it was 80%, it had gone. So I think you are absolutely seeing how you can use these really well. So don't hang around if you love them. How are you getting on there, Becky?
Well, I think I might have to do this by hand because this part of the sewing machine is a bit small. But you can see here, so I've just pinned that little cuff on there. That is my little oven glove.
I love
with
it.
my policeman.
Your Christmas policeman on.
Christmas policeman.
I love it.
Yeah, that's it. You know, what do they call it? The long arm of the law. So
that's absolutely brilliant. I love it. Oh my word. Okay, so Carol says, one of my holiday Christmas tea towels say, 3 wise men. Are you kidding me? Right, so demo of the show goes to, are we ready? Number 3. It's the Christmas policeman. Yay! I love it. Absolutely. Thank you so much for sending in your votes. And apparently number 2 was a very close second.
Oh, lovely.
But pipped to the post by the Christmas policeman. Oh, Becky, I've had the most wonderful 2 hours.
It's been so good working with you. Again.
I know, I'm like a number 47 bus, Becky. You don't see me for ages and then loads of me come along at once. Are you in next Friday?
No.
Oh.
Next Thursday, I'm doing some filming next Thursday.
I think I'm in on Thursday. I'm going to bring my
see.
crochet hooks. You and I are going to sit down in the cafe with the crochet hooks.
Okay.
I'm very excited about that. Look, I've had a wonderful time. It's been glorious being here with, the inimitable Becky. She's just an absolute joy to work with. She really is. Thank you so much for sharing all of your inspiration, Becky. We really appreciate it. I'm going to be back with Debbie Robinson at 6 p.m. with the launch of those shutter dies, which you're already loving. 30%'s already gone. So I think we're going to have a busy show come 6 p.m. So that'll be 6 p.m. GMT, that here in the UK, that is 6 a.m. Eastern and, 1 p.m. Eastern and 10 a.m. Pacific time. I will get my head in the clocks eventually. I've had a glorious time. It's been lovely. Please do go and get your fabrics. Don't be disappointed and miss out on them. And maybe shop out a couple of those deals, especially this little tool bundle. Have a lovely afternoon and I'll see you in a couple of hours. And thank you very much again to Becky.
Thank you,
soon.
Leann.